Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm a big son bitch. Let me show you what I did to my Road King to make it fit a little bit better for me. Hey, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 6'7", about 300 pounds. I'm a former collegiate offensive lineman. Go Wolfpack, Western Oregon. I bought this Harley a couple months ago, and it was my second bike technically. I bought a KLR and I only had it for, well, I still have it. I rode it for about a month and it just wasn't doing it for me. It didn't feel right. And I saw this bike at a Harley dealership over in Bend, Oregon, and it was just an unreal deal. It was the cheapest Harley I'd ever seen, and ended up buying it. And it was kind of weird when I bought it. I feel like the guy who owned it before me was probably like 4'6", because there was a lot of weird stuff on it. And I changed a few of the things. The main thing is the seat, the handlebars, and the foot controls. I'll show you what I changed on it, and it's working a lot better for me now. But unfortunately, it's middle of winter in Oregon, so there's a lot of snow outside. Can't really go riding that much. But here, let me show you what I did to it. So this is how it looks now after I've done everything to it. It's a 2000 Harley Road King. I found it for $4,000. It only had 20,000 miles on it. And mechanically, this thing's, I haven't had any issues with it. I rode it a lot before the snow showed up, but I haven't had, no mechanical issues. It runs perfectly, but it was set up very weird when I first bought it. Like I said before, the dude who had it before me was probably 4 foot nothing, and I'll show you. I still have the parts, the original parts that came on it when I bought it, and I'll show you a picture of it. But it was not the most comfortable ride for a guy my size. So the first thing I changed on it was the seat. This is the Harley Tall Boy. See it, nice, pretty cushiony. Got the little Harley logo right there. And it moved me back and gave me a little bit more of a backrest here, because here's the original seat that it came with. You can see the original seat wasn't really, it still had decent amount of cushioning, but there was no real backrest to it. You can see the padding on this thing is just so much thicker, so much more cushy, and it moved me back quite a bit. Like, I don't know if you can really tell like this, but like this seat wasn't terrible, but this one has been a lot better. When I first started riding, my back started hurting after like nothing. 15 minutes, my back was killing me, and this thing's helped out a little bit. I am still going to get a rider's backrest for it, but yeah, this seat's helped out a lot. So another big change I did was these extended foot controls. So when I first got it, it had the stock Harley brake and shifter, and here's the original brake. When it was on there, it was about right here, and I would have to actually move my foot back and up to use the brake, which didn't seem safe or comfortable. So I went to this company called Soft Brake, which is actually just a guy up in Idaho who mills all these out in his garage, and got a 3-inch extended brake lever and shifter. So now when I'm riding, I pretty much have my toe sitting on the crash bar like this, and it's a lot easier to get to the foot brake, and it's a lot more comfortable, because before I would have to be riding like this, and even like this, my foot was underneath the brake, so if I need to brake quickly, I'd have to kind of like go up and like that. And I'll show you the shifter too. Like the shifter, it puts them both. It puts the shifter as well, like almost over the crash bar. So when I'm, riding, I don't have to have my foot cocked all the way back. I can have it up where it wants to be, and it's not, super uncomfortable like it was before. So when I said it had weird stuff on it, one of the weird things it had was these highway pegs. Instead of having them where I have them now, which I still don't even really use them that much, I'm probably going to end up taking them off, but originally this guy had the highway pegs like right here. So it was just a really weird feeling when you try to use them when they're up there. I moved them out to kind of, I have a kind of a long legs, so I put them out here, and I'm still not a big fan of them. Usually I just kind of rest my heel on top of that. But yeah, the dude had them up here, and it just seemed really inconvenient. So I want to know who bought this before me, because I bought it used from a dealership. But that's not the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing is actually what the handlebars were before, and I'll show you what I changed on those. So these handlebars are 14-inch apes, and I kind of just recently got them put on. It took a while for the parts to get in because of COVID and everything. But that was kind of my main issue, why I almost didn't buy the bike, because originally the guy had, these were the handlebars he originally had on there, which aren't bad if you have them in the right spot. But this guy, he had them tilted down to like right here. Like your hands were like level with the tank. And if you can tell, the only blemish on this bike is a scratch right here. And that's because when you had the handlebars like they originally were, when you go to turn, the handlebar would actually smack into the tank. Like I test rode this thing with the handlebars how they were originally, and I was following one of the salesmen, and we went into this parking lot and did a U-turn, and I couldn't do a U-turn because the handlebars were so low that I hit my knee and I could only turn them about that far. Like they were ridiculous. Now I ended up, before I got the apes, I tilted them up back to where they should have been, about right here, and it helped a little bit. I mean, it was a lot more comfortable than how they were originally. But these, for a guy my size, these bars, these 14-inchers are just a lifesaver. It's so much nicer. Like I could only ride for about 20 minutes. My back started hurting me because I was bent over and everything. And I still think I'm probably going to crank them down a little bit more further towards me. And then when I get my backrest, it's going to be perfect. But yeah, these things were the biggest help to make this thing, fit better for me. Because like I said, I'm 6'7". Like I'm a big dude, and I'm telling you, the guy who had this before had to be 4'2". I know I keep making him shorter, but I'm thinking back on it. I'm going to show you a picture of what it was when I first got it, and this thing was ridiculous. So that's basically what I did to it. I changed the seat, got those extended foot controls, and got the 14-inch apes. I did a few more other things, like this bag actually I had on my KLR, and I figured I could just strap it straight, cross on the back of the pillion backrest. I'm gonna get a rider's backrest too, because I feel like that'll help. I still have some issues with my back when I'm riding. I'm gonna get some new grips at some point. These are just, foamies. They're kind of coming apart a little bit. I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, other than that, man, this thing's great. The Harley compared to the KLR, I know the KLR is not really meant for the road or anything. It's one of those ones that does everything well. And it's still fun to putt around town, but as soon as I took that thing on the highway, I knew that thing wasn't gonna last. Probably gets new saddlebags at some point. At some point, this guy, it almost looks like something fell on it, because it doesn't look like he ever dropped it. Like there's no damage to the engine or anything, or any of the crash bars. It just looks like something, he had it in his garage and it was sitting for a long time and something fell on the saddlebags. Not this one, but this one here has a little dent in it. I can tell there. But yeah, God, I can't wait. As soon as the snow melts, I'm gonna take this thing on a bunch of camping trips and fishing trips, and probably show, hopefully make a few more videos if there's any other tall riders like to see some stuff like that. But anyway, thanks for watching.